Hello there, my friend. All right, so today I really want to talk to you about who you hang out with and who you associate with, because let's face it, so many people that we surround ourselves with are just bad energy, bad vibe, and they bring you down instead of raise you up. So I really want you to do an inventory of your friendships and the people that surround you, and think to yourself, okay, does this person energize me, and can I energize them? Is it a mutually beneficial relationship? And if it isn't, well, what needs to change? What needs to happen? Because your relationships in your life are truly a fountain, or it's either going to hold and nurture your energy, or it's going to deplete you. And if you're depleted, roaming around all day long, just drained because of not only your mindset and the things that you're already telling yourself that are bringing you down, but the world around you brings you down, well, shit, man, we got a problem. You're never going to get to where you want to go, whether that's financially, with your career, with your ambitions, because you're not using that energy effectively. Like, you're draining, you're being depleted of energy. So I want you to understand, where are you being depleted right now, and what nurtures you? What relationships do you have in your life that you just absolutely cherish because they fill you to the brim? Maybe it's hanging out with your girls and having ladies' night, or a really good friend that even though you don't talk to her very often, you're like, man, we just have such a good friendship. Maybe it is your partner. Or sometimes we find that we've fallen into such a comfort zone, to kind of a rut with our partners, like our spouses, and even our most loved ones, like our mom or dad, what have you. And we realize that that relationship is actually reached a point where it's draining us. And I know that that's hard to say, but damn, if your closest relationships are draining you, then that means that you didn't draw the line on the sand. And it's perhaps time to revisit that line. What needs to happen in order for you to feel that you have control of everything that's happened? How can you gain back control of your energy instead of depleting? Because guess what? It's depleting you, and it's probably depleting them as well. It's not fulfilling them. So where do you need to readdress this? Go back, look at that relationship, and be like, okay, I need to draw a line in the sand here, because you're taking advantage of me, or this is depleting for both of us, and it's just not working. And I have a story. So there was once, I had a couple of friends who were going through a divorce, and I was friends with her throughout the process, throughout the divorce, and she was super obviously depressed. She was going through a really, really hard time. But it reached a point throughout the process that all she could do of, and this is months after the divorce, years after the divorce, actually probably about a year after the divorce, that all of our conversations would revolve around her ex, and how disappointed, and how he's such an asshole, he's such a jerk, and all those things. And I'm like, it reached a point where I'm usually a really, really good friend. And I will say so myself, I'm the best fucking friend you can ever have. I'm there for you when you need me, and honestly, I'm a very good listener, which I think is the two things that you really need for a good friend. And I'd be there, I'd be listening. I started to notice a few months after the divorce, where I'm like, okay, this story has settled. You now have a new boyfriend. You're having a great time, but you still, all you can do is talk to me about your divorce, and about how shitty your life is. And mind you, she did really well after the divorce. She got a boatload of money. She had a beautiful house, beautiful kids. She now had an awesome boyfriend, and still, nothing. I even took her with me to Tony Robbins' event. Nothing. And Tony Robbins events are usually meant to inspire you, get you back on track with your life. And nothing. And, it just got to the point where I just had to let go. It's like, listen, I love you dearly. You're a fantastic human being, but this friendship just needs to go. And of course, I didn't say it out to her out loud, but it did. Over time, I just stopped hanging out with her because it was draining. And ladies, if there's one thing you cannot afford to lose and waste, is that life force. It's that life energy, which really emanates from you, whether you like it or not. So your life force, you wake up in the morning, there's this life force coming out of you. And if you nurture it, there's more of it. If you nurture it, you become impervious, impenetrable to negative energy. But if you're waking up to being depleted, waking up to being drained by your circumstances, you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. So, with that, I really want you to take inventory. What relationships do you have that need to be revisited and readdressed because they're depleting you? They're not allowing you that space for you to build up your own energy so you can carry out your own dreams.